What are you doing?
I'm trying to kiss you.
You know I have physical boundaries set for our relationship.
Come on, just one.
Oh man, Nathaniel, you can do it. You can do it. Flee from sexual temptation. Run, 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 run.
Testing, let's go. All right, you want to open us up?
Yeah, what do you usually say? Welcome back.
So what's up, guys? Nate and Sutton here, back with another video. You do it. Gotta warm up those vocal cords.
What's up, guys? This is Nate and Sutton back with another video, and today's topic is... Are you serious?
Today's topic is Christian dating boundaries.
Yes, that is a good one.
Such a big topic, because if you are really serious about honoring God, not only with your life, but with your relationship and your future marriage, then you gotta get the dating boundaries in order.
We're here to help you.
So, how far is too far when it comes to physical boundaries in Christian dating? Really, I think that's the wrong question to ask. I think the question that we should be asking is, how close can I get to Jesus in my relationship? How can I best honor God with our relationship? Not how close can we get to the line of sin without actually sinning. That's the wrong question.
So in the Bible, God tells us to flee from sexual temptation. There's other times where it talks about sin and how to stay away from it, but sexual immorality, it says to flee from that. And what's cool about that is that it also says that every time you're in one of those situations, God gives you a way out. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that is good. That's a good information. So don't ever be thinking that you're tempted beyond anything that you can handle, because there will be a way. And it's up to you. It's up to you to make that decision. Am I going to run from this sexual temptation, or am I going to feed into it and just see how close we can get?
So the actual verse is 1 Corinthians 10, and it says, "No temptation has overtaken you except what is common to mankind, and God is faithful. He will not let you be tempted beyond what you can bear. But when you are tempted, he will also provide a way out so that you can endure it."
Yeah, I think that's pretty cool and an awesome promise, that we know that even though this area of sexual temptation is so challenging to overcome, that it can be done. It can be done with the help of God and the help of His Spirit guiding us through. Another thing to think about is that when you're dating somebody, that they are not actually yours. You know, you have not stood before God under a covenant, promising till death do you part, have not made these promises and oaths under God. So they're actually someone else's future spouse. So it's very important to view the people that you're dating in that way, that on their wedding day, can you shake their future husband or wife's hand and say, I took care of her, I took care of him, knowing that you respected them.
I like that, thinking about that.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool. So the way that God describes sex in the Bible is two becoming one flesh, which you really think about it is a pretty powerful thing. And I think that's why he wants us that to only be for marriage, is because it is that powerful. When two become one flesh, I think it clouds your judgment and it makes it hard for you to see the other person clearly, because you're just so connected in that way that it could make you stay with someone that you're maybe not even supposed to be with.
Yeah, and we hear stories all the time of women being in abusive relationships and like physically abused, and we're like, how can they possibly be staying in that relationship? Well, it might be because they have like became one flesh spiritually and tied their souls with that person, that it almost becomes impossible for them to actually leave the relationship. We may be in a relationship with someone that we're not even intended to marry, but because you've had sex with them, it's like you feel so spiritually, physically, and emotionally connected to them that it's like you feel like you can't leave.
Yeah, or you've already given that to someone that, so in your mind you're like, oh, I have to marry them because I've already given them this of me, and you don't want to have to like be in another relationship and tell that person, well, I've already given this away.
So a crazy thought, this may be true, it may not be, but I honestly believe that God may have someone intended for us to marry, and if we don't honor him in that relationship, such as sleeping together or being physically intimate in a way that is not honoring to him, that person could be taken away from you. And what a tragedy that would be. You know, if here God is handing you the person that you're supposed to live the rest of your life with, but because we are not honoring him in that relationship, that it's no longer blessed and it could be taken away.
Yeah, and we talked about that while we were dating, of how I felt like he was such a gift to me, and he felt the same about me, that it was like God's gift to us, each other. And we were just saying, like, if we dishonor him in our relationship, this gift that he's given us, that's just kind of like a slap in the face. Like, why would you want to do that?
Mm-hmm. And to give you an example of that, actually, one of my best friends, he told me that God promised him that the girl that he was dating at the time would be his future wife as long as they didn't sleep together. And unfortunately, they did, and then they ended up breaking up. So that's kind of an example of what I'm talking about, you know. I'm not sure you can find that anywhere in the Bible that it says that, but based on experience, I believe that could be true, and that would be such a sad and horrible thing.
The next thing we want to talk about is how sex is so much more than a physical connection. It's spiritual, it's physical, and it's emotional. Proverbs tells us to, above all else, guard our heart, because everything that we do flows from that.
Our world, unfortunately, we live in a world where you watch on TV and movies where they make sex out to be like just this physical thing. Like, okay, you can just have sex with someone and move on.
And so casual, like it doesn't matter.
Yeah, which is so unfortunate and so not the truth. It's so much more than that. Not only is it physical, but it's spiritual. It's emotional. You're like literally tying your souls together. So let's talk about actual Christian dating boundaries. What are some boundaries that people should follow?
I know one that we talked about in a previous video is not being in a room alone together. I feel like just that little thing could probably save you a lot.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if you're not in a room alone together, what are you gonna do?
PDA.
Yeah.
Nathaniel said the other night that he thinks that, you shouldn't even kiss. You shouldn't even kiss.
Yeah, so I think at the bare minimum that kissing should be the farthest that you go. Like, absolutely. Like, nothing further than that. But really, if I were to do it over again, I think that I would not even kiss before marriage. Like, if you really want to go there, if you really want to be intense and, do your best to honor God in a relationship, I think that makes the most sense, because God tells us to flee from sexual immorality. So is fleeing like, all right, let's kiss and then let's make out and then let's see where my lips go next, That is not fleeing from sexual immorality. That is
treading the line.
Yeah, that is seeing how close to the line that you can actually get. That's a very hard thing to do. I mean, even hugging.
Oh no.
I mean, if you really think about it, our world, hugging is so common. I mean, we hug strangers. But if you really think about what hugging is, you're like pressing your body up against another person's body.
I'll forever worry about you hugging people now.
I know, this topic, and when we were preparing for this video, it even made me think about this stuff, like hugging. Like, I'm thinking I'm all side hugs from here on out.
Another boundary that I think is a good one, it's not a sexual boundary, it's more of just like a preserving the relationship kind of boundary. Personally, I don't believe that you should have friends of the opposite sex that are just your friends. Like me having guy friends that are just my friends and he's not really friends with them, and vice versa. Or me like hanging out with guys and he's not there. I don't think you should be doing that, just to protect, what you have. And to just show respect and honor for who you're with.
Do you mean like you can have friends but not necessarily like have one-on-one conversations with them without the other person? A lot of these boundaries may seem really extreme, and it will make you stand out, which I think is an amazing thing. If you really want to stand out as a Christian couple, see how people respond to you when you say, well, yeah, we don't do anything above kissing, or we don't even kiss each other. People may think you're weird for doing these things, but if they do, you need new friends.
Satan is sneaky, and I just feel like he'll make things you think like, oh, this is okay, this is harmless, this isn't gonna hurt anyone, this is gonna hurt us. But then it just like leads to the next thing and the next thing, and then before you know it, you're just doing everything you didn't want to do. Yeah,
and talking about boundaries, even having friends who think this stuff is normal, I think that could be a serious boundary. Like, because the people that you're friends with and that you're closest to, if you hang around a friend group where everyone thinks it's just, we're Christians, we sleep with each other, what's the big deal? Then that mentality is going to start creeping into your mind. You should be hanging out with people who support what you're doing and believe in setting these physical boundaries, because ultimately our goal is to honor God, not our flesh.
Iron sharpens iron.
What did I say to you, Sutton, when we were dating?
You said, if we ever go past kissing, then I just can't be with you.
Yeah, and so I set that ultimatum, and that, once again, we're getting extreme here.
He said that on like our third date.
Yeah. And how did you feel about it when I said that?
I liked it. I was like, yes, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, as a Christian guy, let me tell all the men out there something. That if you want to stand out as a man, tell them that you're not going to be with them if you guys go past a certain point physically. But you got to mean it. You can't just be saying it for the sake of saying it.
Be confident in like doing what's right. It's attractive.
Yeah. So I think that's really important because it's like, hey, we got to honor God with our relationship here, right?
Right.
And if we don't do that, we ain't being together.
Another thing is to respect each other's boundaries. So maybe one of you doesn't want to go past kissing and the other one doesn't even want to kiss. I always feel like you should go with the one who wants more, or wants to do less, I guess you could say it that way.
Yeah.
Like the one that doesn't even want to kiss, the other one should be abiding by that rule.
Obviously, they would like to kiss you, but the reason they're doing it is because they're honoring God and y'all's relationship as being more important than satisfying the physical desires.
What are some of your guys' boundaries? I think that people who watch our videos read the comments, so if y'all have anything to add or any other boundary ideas, please share them. We would like to read them. All right, the last thing, this is a little pro tip that we actually got from church a while ago, and I thought it was pretty funny. It's always a good thing to pray together, but you should always pray vertically, not horizontally. And why is that, Nathaniel?
Because when you start praying horizontally, you're laying down together, and if you're laying down together, you're going to be doing other things together. All right, guys, so while she's looking up the questions here,
I was actually texting.
All right, while she's looking at the questions here, we just wanted to thank you guys for watching this video. If you found this helpful, useful, please subscribe to our channel. Leave us a comment, like, share. Thank you for all of your support. So we're getting into our Q&A for those of you that are new here. At the end of a lot of our videos, we'll do like 3 question and answers from people who commented. So definitely leave your questions below if you have any for us.
First question is from Jenny. She says, what if I want to support my mom or younger sibling after marriage? How do I tell my husband to allow me to do that from my pay? That's hard.
Yeah, well, I think you're asking the wrong question there. You're asking me how to tell your husband to allow you to do that. And I think that since it's your money, your husband's money, me and Sutton share our money. So I think when a couple comes together, they should share each other's money. All their money should become one. And if your husband is not on board with that, I don't think it would be right to be giving it to them. But ultimately, all you can do is just share with your husband why it's important to you to be giving that money to your family. And if your husband is on board with that and agrees with that, then I think that would be a great thing to do. But if not, then unfortunately, I don't think they should be doing it, right?
Yeah, I wouldn't say so. I would never suggest someone go against what their spouse says.
Yeah. These are all impromptu answers, by the way. We don't look at these questions beforehand. Yeah. Okay, next question from Starla Holden. Do you guys have advice on giving when people take advantage of that? Like, is it wrong to deny helping someone when they are irresponsible and just use you as a backup plan when they know you have money?
Yeah, that's a good question. And that's a hard one to me because I've actually thought about that before. Our Bible, it says to give to those who ask of you. And so that's why I question that, because I have the same feeling. If someone, drug addicts, they ask people for money, like, are you supposed to give it to them because they're asking you for it? I would say no. I would just say if, it's like discernment. If they're using your money to go against God or what he would want you to do, being in debt, using drugs, anything enabling them to do something that is going against what God would want them to do, I would say no. You shouldn't feel bad about not giving to them. Mm-hmm. But if it's someone who is truly in need and they're using their money for good, then I would say it would be really great of you to give to them.
But then, it's a tricky area because then you might see like a homeless person on the side of the street and you're like, well, are they just using my money for cigarettes or drugs or whatever? And you may not know the answer to that. So I think
that's something we're not supposed to worry about.
Yeah, I think it's definitely better to lean on the side of just giving and trusting God. That's what he would want you to do. But if you know they're using your money for bad things, then we personally don't think that would be the right thing to do.
All right, last one. This is from Pam Seklowy. She says, hey guys, love your videos. What worship songs do you listen to, and is it wrong to listen to secular music?
Yeah, so this is something that I was kind of convicted by a year or so ago. I would work out to hard rock music just because it would pump me up, but there would be cussing and just bad language in the music, so I stopped listening to it. So yeah, personally, I think music is a very powerful thing and a gift from God, like all good things are. So if you're listening to music that is talking about sinful things or just bad things that we're not supposed to really be involved with, then I think that's probably not a good thing to listen to. Yeah, so my favorite song that I've been listening to lately is Hallelujah Here Below by Elevation Worship. I listen to that song like every single day.
That's a good one. I have two that come to mind that I really like. One is Yes I Will, and then the other one is Resurrected King. Those are some songs. I mean, if you want to listen to songs at the gym, those three are songs for the gym.
Yeah, I used to think like working out the worship music wouldn't really work, but when you get into it, I'm telling you, it is
It's
the
good.
bomb. All right, guys, so this is Nathan Sutton sowing seeds of truth, love, and inspiration, one view at a time.
And that was Christian dating boundaries.
What are you doing?
I'm trying to kiss you.
You know I have physical boundaries set for our relationship.
Come on, just one.
No. Oh, dang it.
Oh, I had it. Whoa, what are you doing?
I'm trying to kiss you.
You know I have physical boundaries set for our relationship.
Oh, come on, just one.